Yeah, so welcome once again to mindfulness, meditation, our chance to explore the ways of observing what the mind is doing, um, how we're relating to it, and just an overall exploration of what's happening here in this mind-body complex that we inhabit here. Some way to um, explore ways to just dig a little bit deeper, pay a little closer attention to see um, what our mind creates, how it responds to the body, how it responds to things that come in, um, to get to know ourselves better and the way we respond to the world. So just grateful that you're here. So we'll begin, as we almost always do, with just a brief check-in. So take your meditation seat, whatever that looks like today. So seat just means posture. So you can do it sitting, lying down, standing, whatever allows you to feel supported and stable to be able to not have to move around for the next few minutes. So you want to feel that support, whatever is physically supporting you, whether it's a chair, a couch, a bed, the floor. So you feel that support grounding into that, but also inviting uprightness. So inviting the spine to be long, which allows us to feel a little more alert and upright. So in whatever that looks like for you, but just inviting the possibility of an upright spine or a longer spine to give alertness, but also a sense of relaxation, so not rigidity. And if you're comfortable, you can close your eyes or just have a soft gaze, and we'll let the bell invite us to come into meditation. So with fading the sound of the bell, letting that go and just coming into the basic practice of checking in, awareness of how it is right here, right now. So how is it? What's the mood of the mind, the overall energy? Are you still in the process of arriving, the clicking and the looking and the letting go of whatever was before? Or are you here and calm, just waiting? Are you anticipating, leaning, wondering what's going to happen? Just what the general mood of the mind is, the energy. And the body, how's the body? Is it relaxed? Is it restless? Is there some discomfort that's speaking to us? You just notice how the body is just generally and letting that go. And just coming into an overall sense of the body, feeling the body resting on whatever's supporting it. So feel wherever the pressure is, the feet on the floor, maybe your hips on whatever is being supported, just feeling the body supported, resting. You don't have to provide effort to hold it up, it's just supported. And just like the body's resting on its support, the mind rests in the body. And can we allow the mind to just rest, come to a state of ease in the body? There's nowhere to go, nothing to do, nothing to be. Just receive that feeling of groundedness, of support for the body, and allow the mind to feel supported in the body itself. So how does that feel, that invitation to receive this feeling of support? Can the mind rest in the body? Can the body rest on its physical support? And just allowing it to settle. And can the mind be aware of what that feels like, that invitation and that sensation of being supported? a sense of being here. So how does the mind know that it's here? It's the awareness of the body that lets us know that we're here. So can we let the mind rest there and feel grounded, supported in the body? And notice if it wants to wander off thinking or falling asleep, whatever. And just re-inviting it to just receive this feeling of resting in the body. So just be with that for a little bit. Feeling the body supported, grounded in this support, and the mind resting in the body. And we can notice if there is a sense of ease in this, or if there's a sense of restlessness, like energy that wants to move. It's resisting the idea of just being still and at ease. So we can notice that resistance to this invitation to just be at ease here, supported. Or maybe we notice there's a sense of constriction or weightiness in the body or the mind, resisting the experience. If you sense these, just invite a sense of space or non-resistance to the area of the body or to the mind. So any amount, just inviting a sense of ease, of spaciousness, non-resistance in this mind and this body. So we're using the mind to invite the mind and the body to be at ease. The body and the mind can observe the result of that invitation. It may or may not work, but we can just be aware. So can we invite a feeling of grounded support, of resting, of the body and of the mind? If that's not possible, we notice what is getting in the way, what's resisting that invitation. Just check in again and notice how the mind and the body are with that invitation. Again, there's no right or wrong, there's no judging, we just notice how it is right here, right now in the mind and body. And maybe that invitation was a little too vague, so we could invite the mind to be aware of the body breathing. So feeling this receiving on the inhalation, the letting go on the exhalation. So the mind aware of the body breathing, receiving, letting go. And we can notice if the mind is content with that invitation to just notice the body breathing, or if it's restless, if it's resisting the simple act of the body breathing. And just re-invite it. Can we be interested? Can we be at ease with this receiving, letting go? And if there is some feeling of resistance or constriction, maybe in the breath, maybe there's some tension in the breathing process itself. You can notice that too, and just go to a broader sense, opening to spaciousness of the body breathing. Can we invite space, receptivity to the body breathing? And noticing if the mind's still present with the body breathing, or if it's wandered off doing something else, thinking, planning, past, future, or maybe it's falling asleep. Just notice that too. And re-invite awareness of the body breathing. Can the mind stay interested in this process, this automatic, effortless process of the body breathing? And just noticing how the mind is, what's the mood of the mind, what's the general feeling in the body. With this simple invitation to just be present. So the bell invites us to bring the awareness back to the surface again from wherever it might have been. And maybe noticing anything you may have noticed during that meditation, activities of the mind, any resistance, any feeling of ease, any frustration with lack of feeling of ease. And then just bring the awareness back to being here together again. So that meditation was kind of the introduction to what I wanted to explore a little bit more today. This idea of non-resistance, and can there be a sense of ease? Like if I think about non-resistance, I think about lack of friction, right? And if a cloud is moving across the sky, there's no resistance, there's no friction. The sky isn't trying to hold it back. It's not fighting the cloud, it's just letting it move through. And so the question might be, can we live our life with this non-resistance? And it doesn't mean that we have to be a doormat, pushed around by everything, but can we not resist what's actually here with us? Can we learn to be with it? And maybe even notice this in that meditation, even when you were present with something that was happening, it changes, like it's constantly in a state of change, right? And if we resist, we're holding on to it and things don't change. But if we just let them move, then something else shows up. So even if it's something we don't like, if we resist it, if we hold on to it, that just tightens the grip on it. But if we just are present with it, like maybe there's a sensation in the body we didn't like, or maybe the breath was a little irregular and we didn't like that. If we take our attention there and go, oh, I don't like that, then our attention is all there, and it increases the tension in that area, and it actually makes it last longer than it might otherwise if we just let it move. And so this idea of non-resistance, anything we don't like, if we resist that not liking, it just intensifies it. That's the theory, But the only way we can really notice this is practicing on this really subtle level in meditation. In this quiet space, we can watch this happen in a very subtle way. And once we start to see this process happening in this subtle, kind of relatively non-reactive environment, we can start to see where it happens in our daily life too, in all of our activities. So that's what I propose to do in this session, is just an exploration of this inviting non-resistance. And one way to do this, and this is a meditation technique that Nancy and I don't commonly use, but can be helpful sometimes. Using a visualization or inviting, I'm not a visual person, so I don't actually see a visualization, but inviting like the concept of something. So in this case, I'll introduce a couple of different things throughout the meditation, and we can just use the suggestions of the word. Again, that invitation that we used in that first meditation is one way to do that. And one of the things I'll invite would actually be a visual image. If you're a visual person, that may work. If not, maybe you're like me, you just have to remember what it looked like, even if you can't visualize it. So, but we'll play around with this. And if you find that this absolutely doesn't work for you, if you're resisting this way of practicing, then just go back to watching your breath or whatever you normally do, and just invite yourself to give yourself this time. But noticing if there is resistance even to the various meditation techniques that I'll invite during this next sit. So way too much talking. So let's do the exploration. That's where we really learn, right? So retake your meditation posture, whatever that may want to look like. For this will be a little bit longer meditation, so just make sure you're comfortable. Whatever allows the body to feel supported and at ease. Coming back into feeling grounded, yet alert and relaxed. Closing the eyes if you're comfortable, or just having a soft gaze, and we'll let the bell transition us again. So letting go all those words, those ideas, concepts, and just coming back into what's happening right here, right now, with this body and this mind. So once again, checking in, how is it? What's the mood of the mind? Is it leaning into what the topic might be, what we might be doing, or is it just at ease, waiting? Or maybe it's thinking about what you're going to have for lunch. Whatever it's doing, just notice what the mind is up to. Notice how it feels, the general feeling. Is it content, non-content? And then check in with the body. How is that? Is that at ease, or is there some tension? And whatever it is, just noticing how it is. Not trying to change it, not resisting it, just being aware. And maybe even as you observe it, it might be changing the experience of this mind, this body right here, right now. And we can let that go and set the intention in this meditation to just follow the instruction for various ways of observing non-resistance, whatever that may feel like. Receptive awareness, non-resistance to whatever comes into awareness. And we can start by going back to the breath again. So feeling the body breathing as we did in the first meditation. So just feeling the body breathing, either as a sensation or energetically, feeling the receiving on the inhalation, the letting go on the exhalation. Just inviting the mind to just receive and let go of this sensation of the body breathing. Can the mind stay interested in this? Not think that there's something better to do. Can we just be with the body breathing, feeling the receiving and the letting go? It's a way of resting the mind and awareness of the body. And then we can transition the awareness to paying attention to sounds. So sounds in your environment, near, far, loud, subtle. The sound of my voice, maybe the sound of your heartbeat. Some may be pleasant, some may be unpleasant. Just inviting the mind to be aware of sounds coming and going. Now one sound, now another. Maybe there's one sound that feels continuous, but we can notice subtle changes in it. Just letting the sounds come and go. Can the mind receive and just observe the sounds coming and going? Sound like clouds moving across a vast clear sky. So the mind is this vast clear sky. And the sounds are just like clouds. They move across the sky and then dissipate. And then another sound comes. And then it moves on too. So sounds just coming and going, like clouds moving across the vast clear sky of awareness. And maybe some sounds we want to hold on to, or some we want to resist or push away. Just notice if there's a reactivity to a sound, and let it just let go and let it move on. The sky doesn't resist or hold on to clouds. So can the mind be like the sky and just let these sounds come and go without resistance or without holding on to them? And then soften and widen your attention to include not just sounds, but maybe the thoughts that are coming and going along with the sounds, maybe body sensations, an itch here, a breath there, a heartbeat, a thought, a sound. These sensory experiences all coming and going like clouds in the clear, vast sky of awareness. Thoughts, images, sensations, pleasant, unpleasant, problems, joys, sorrows. Let them all move across the awareness of this vast, clear sky of awareness. So practice in this way for a while, just allowing sensations, thoughts, sounds come into awareness and then move on like clouds moving through the sky. We can check in to notice if the mind is still present with this changing experience of thoughts, sensations, sounds, or if it's gotten caught on one of them, or it's resisting it, or if it's gotten distracted by something else and lost in the fog of a worry, a problem, a joy. You can just notice if that happens and notice how that feels in the mind and the body. And then reset the intention to soften, widen your attention to just receive whatever body sensations, sounds, thoughts. Let them all just come and go, like clouds in the vast, clear sky of awareness. No holding on, no resistance, no judgment. That's the invitation. The mind is like a sky. These sensations, thoughts, sounds just come and go. Can we let them just move? Be interested, but not hold on. Just checking in again to see if the mind is still just receiving things as they come in, senses, thoughts, sounds. Or if it's gotten caught on something that came up, or maybe a thought came up and it's caught. Or maybe drowsiness. Maybe there's the fog of drowsiness. Whatever it is, just notice what the mind is paying attention to, what's the effect on the mind and the body. And then reset the intention to soften, widen the attention, to just receive each sensory experience, each thought, each sound as it comes and goes, like clouds in the sky. And if you're struggling with this instruction and can't relate to this open awareness, you could go back to the breath and think of the receiving, the letting go. That's always there no matter what. And just receiving it like a breeze. And then letting it go, letting it move on, the exhalation. So whatever way works for you, to just be present with this awareness of this embodied experience. The mind, vast and spacious and receptive. That's the invitation. Non-resistance. Just letting the breath move, letting sounds come and go, sensations, thoughts, all in this big space of awareness. Pleasant, unpleasant. You all just keep moving through. No resistance. Noticing what the mind's paying attention to. It's still in this spacious awareness of things coming and going, or if it's holding on to something, resisting, or the fog of drowsiness. Just noticing what's happening, noticing the effect on the mind and the body, and then resetting the intention to just be with this experience coming and going. The sound, a thought, a sensation coming and going in this vast awareness like clouds through the sky. And notice the effect. Noticing if the mind is still spacious, just receiving and letting go the various thoughts and sensations. Or notice if it's holding on to something or lost in drowsiness. Just noticing what's happening and what the effect is on the mind and body. So now we'll invite again the body or the mind be aware of the breath in the body. So bring the awareness back to the sensation of the body breathing, receiving, letting go, receiving the energy, letting it move on the exhalation. Again, this receptive awareness, just receiving the sensation of the body breathing. Maybe noticing that the inhalation is cool, receptivity. Maybe the exhalation has more of a sense of warmth, of letting go, of release. How does the mind experience the body breathing? Like breezes moving through the landscape. Receiving, letting go. And we can notice the mood of the mind after practicing in this way with the breath for a while. How did it feel relative to when you're inviting the spaciousness of the vast mind? It may be easier for you to practice in this way more directly with the breath. Maybe there's more ease with this type of practice, and we can just notice that too. The body breathing is like this. And then we can bring the awareness back to the sensation of the body being supported, grounded on whatever its support is, the chair, the floor. So we can feel the body supported, grounded, but also remembering the spaciousness that we invited in the non-resisting mind, the mind like sky. So we can notice the difference in how the mind receives this groundedness of the body versus the open receptivity. And not judging, just noticing this is how it is or was. And we can practice in this way just to notice, to get to know better how the mind responds to different invitations, moment to moment. So the bell invites us to bring the awareness back to the surface again. Whatever you may have noticed during that meditation, there's various ways of practicing. And then the awareness of being here together again. So again, whatever your experience was in this, there was a number of different ways of practicing for inviting the mind, and that this whole idea of using the mind to invite the mind, I always find kind of intriguing, right? So we're using the mind to observe mind and to make invitations to the mind, and then noticing what happens in the mind and the body. And of course, the body is providing its own input into this. No matter what the mind thinks it wants to do, the body may have other ideas, and we can notice that too. And so through all of this is just a process of exploration. And if we can, the idea of like this visualizing the mind like sky, it's almost a way of like inviting sort of a playfulness in how we relate to our experience, inviting different ways of viewing our experience. And maybe this was interesting to you, or maybe today it didn't work, but you could try it again some other time, and maybe there might be more receptivity at some later date. But all these different ways of playing with this are different ways of exploring how we relate to experience, just again, to get to know our mind and body better, know ourselves better, and what allowed us to feel at ease during this practice period that we had today. And we take that into our lives on a moment to moment basis in our daily life. So hopefully there was something that was helpful to you, maybe a few moments of ease or a few moments of clarity of, oh yeah, I do this. Yeah. So just grateful that you're here doing this exploration, and look forward to seeing you again in another week or so. Take care.